So a few weeks ago I asked you to let me know if there was any specific reviews you wanted me to do while we were in lockdown. Now Mark Dunn commented and said that he wanted to have a look at the new range of Odyssey Stroke Lab putters and all the Odyssey putters I have at my house. So today we're going to be going through the full range. I've actually got all 5 of the Triple Track putters, then I've got one of the Odyssey Toulons, which is the Seattle model, and then I've got one of the Stroke Lab Blacks, and that's the 10 model. So if we start off with the Triple Track putters, these actually came about through Callaway's custom fit program, and what they were finding is when people were going to get fit for putters, they just couldn't aim the putter very well. Now I don't find this very surprising, but I think most golfers would actually be shocked at how bad their alignment is, and obviously you're not going to put a good stroke on it if you can't even aim at the hole. So the whole story here is about making sure you can line up well at address. Now, the alignment feature on the top is specifically designed to help you do this, down to the colour scheme and the widths of the lines. But it's also designed to be optimised when you use it with the Callaway Triple Track ball, so 1, you will get better alignment if you just use this putter on its own without the ball, but 2, you're going to get better alignment if you use the 2 combined. So there are 5 different models in this range. We've got the 2 ball, the double wide blade, the 2 ball blade, the Marksman, and then also the Triple Track 10. Now personally for me, I think my favourite is the 2 ball. I had a 2 ball when I was growing up and I really liked it, but one thing I did find that the alignment wasn't the best. Obviously a lot of the shapes are very circular, there's not necessarily a lot of lines directing you towards the direction that you're trying to hit the ball. So I think for me this is a really big upgrade to have this alignment system on the top of this putter. Now there are some of the others visually I really like as well, so the Marksman, I think this looks really nice. Personally for me, I'm not sure about the 2 ball blade. For me, if I'm using a 2 ball, I want it to be the full 2 ball. I'm not really sure about the blade offering, but I think for someone who kind of prefers that traditional blade look, they might like this option. Then in the 10, I'm not really sure how I feel about this one. I think the thing for me I like about the Stroke Lab 10 is the simplicity of it. So I think when you then add the Triple Track technology to this, it's kind of removing from that original story and it looks a bit busy. Then finally we've got the double wide. I think this does look nice if you're someone who prefers a blade. Personally for me, maybe I would have liked to see the alignment option come all the way onto the front of the club, because it does kind of just stop and you don't get that visual leading all the way to the ball. But there's going to be people who prefer to have that gap between the two. So I think a big thing that's really important here is that if you're going to use the ball with a putter, you need to make sure 1, you're lining the ball up pretty near correct, and 2, that you're lining the putter up with the ball. A big thing is actually to practice lining this ball up correctly, as silly as that may sound, because I know a lot of people who are actually really bad at this. I think the big impact of this putter is that as soon as you stand over a putt, you can see what Odyssey are talking about. You can see that the alignment is better and it's easier to use. Now another new thing about this range is we've got a new insert in the face, so we've got the new micro hinge star insert. Now this is designed to be a bit firmer off the face and give you kind of a slightly different feel as well, which I think is great because so many amateurs leave their putts short, so giving that firmer feel is definitely going to help with that. But one thing I kind of find quite hard for me is I don't currently use a Callaway ball, so for me to test this putter out and to check the feel of the face, I want to do that with the ball I'm currently using, because for me changing 2 elements, I don't know if it's the ball that's feeling different or the club that's feeling different, so I want to keep one thing constant while I'm testing. Now the only criticism I have of this is, well, I can't use the Triple Track feature then. So the only way I can use the putter and the Triple Track on the ball is by using a Callaway ball, but how can I then test if the feel off the face is different or if I'm putting better without having a constant variable? So for me, I think something that would have been nice would have been maybe to bring out kind of a ball marker tool you could use, so you could get these lines on whatever ball you wanted to use. Obviously I understand Callaway want to sell the golf balls with this putter, so maybe that's not in their best interest, but I just think for maybe those players who don't want to change the ball or who want to test the putter out before maybe changing the ball later down the line, it would have been a really good option for Callaway to add that, and it probably would have widened the market for people who'd use this. So I've had these putters for a while now and I do really like the feel of the face and how they roll. I still would say this is my favourite model in terms of looks. Obviously they've got the Stroke Lab shaft in as well, which I definitely do like the feel of and the tempo that it creates in my stroke. So all round I would say these are a really great product, which I have really enjoyed testing. So if we move on to the Stroke Lab Black, I've just got the 10 model in this range, which obviously came out the back end of last year. They've now extended this range quite considerably, so we've got a lot more options than just the first two that were originally released. Now for me, this is one of the shapes that visually really stands out. I think the simplicity of it's so nice. When I look at it, I think I'm just going to line that up well. It looks clean and really sleek and elegant. Now I actually managed to get this on the Quintic system just before lockdown and take a look at kind of some numbers on this. And what I was quite surprised about is that I wasn't actually aiming it that well. Not that bad. I think if I was aiming on a straight 10-foot putt, I was kind of aiming left edge of the hole. But I think that just highlights how sometimes a visual you can like doesn't necessarily suit you the best. So I think it's really important to use technology to check your alignment when you're picking a putter. So for me, I like the look of this, but if I'm aiming left edge of the hole on a straight putt, that's really not giving me much room for error. If I pull it a fraction, then I've missed the hole. Whereas if I can line something up straight at the middle of the hole every time, that's going to help massively. Now that's not to say you won't line this up well. Obviously every putter sits different for different people. Obviously a big factor of that could be that this putter's slightly long for me, so getting it the right length might have sorted that alignment out. Now I also actually put this on Sam Putt Lab, and I was using that to kind of look at the tempo, because obviously we've got the new Stroke Lab shaft in this. This was the first sample I got with that shaft in, and I want to see if that was actually improving the tempo of my stroke. Now Odyssey are claiming quite a lot of different things about the Stroke Lab shaft. Not only does it improve tempo, but it kind of helps you square the face up at impact, numerous different things. Now one of the things that they are claiming is that it improves backstroke length consistency, and this is something I actually really struggle with in my putting. I tend to get the backstroke way too long, don't control it very consistently, so I was interested to see if this putter would actually improve that. So I did a kind of test on Sam Lab. You can do 10 ball tests where it looks at your consistency and takes an average. Now I do these every couple of months with my coach anyway, so I had some data to kind of see where I was at and if this made it any better. And it actually did. I nearly saw a 10% jump in improvement in my tempo, which I think is very impressive from not really doing any work, literally just picking a new club up. So finally we've got the Toulon range, and obviously this differs from the rest because it's got a milled face instead of an insert. Now I'd never kind of really understood the obsession with milled faces. I'd not really used them before until I went out to the States to Callaway to test these, and the greens were so quick. This was literally the only putter I could stop the ball anywhere near the hole with, so I think it gave me a completely different appreciation for the feel of the face of this and the control you can get with this kind of face. Now we've got this deep diamond mill on the face, and what this is going to do is it's just going to reduce vibration. So not only is it going to improve your control and your feel, but it's going to create a really quality roll of the golf ball. Now I think the charcoal finish on this range is gorgeous. It really stands out as a premium kind of handcrafted product. There's nothing that you look at this and you think, well, I don't like the look of that. Even if the shape isn't for you, you can just appreciate that it's a really nice looking putter. Having said that, I kind of looked at the shape initially and it didn't really grab my attention. Obviously I got sent this one to test, so I've used it a bit more and kind of grown to like it a lot. And when I put this on Quintic to test it, I actually aimed this really well. This was the best putter out of the ones I tested for alignment, so just being able to aim this at the centre of the hole when I was aiming there. Now that sounds simple, it's not as easy as it sounds, but it also kind of raised my awareness of the fact that something that you look at that's your favourite might not necessarily be the best one for you. I think this is a big thing with putters because people always say, oh, well, just pick something you like. If you're confident it's going to work. Not really true. You can't really argue with physics. If you're not aiming something well, you're not going to hit it where you're aiming, unless your stroke is really overly compensating, which we don't really want to do in the long term. Now another thing I like in the Toulon range is we've got these adjustable sole plates, so you can take these in and out and adjust the weight. So if you prefer a slightly heavier head or a slightly lighter head, you can do that. There's the adjustability. Nice to have that extra option, especially when we've got such a big variance. So you can move this from 7 grams up to 40. That's quite a lot of tolerance and quite a lot of difference, so you can really dial it into that feel that you like. Okay, so what are the key things I want you to take from this? 1, find a putter you can line up well. The big thing I would say for most club golfers is Triple Track's going to make you a better putter. If you line all your putts from 6 foot in at the middle of the hole, you would have to put an incredibly bad stroke on it to miss it. Now, I know you might think that you're putting strokes that bad, but I really doubt it is. And you'll probably find most of the time you're missing it's actually down to bad alignment. So if you really want to improve your short putting, get good at alignment, which this system is going to help you do. So I think if you really struggle with those short puts, these putters are going to massively help. So try them out, find which one's right for you. Now, if you're someone who personally just doesn't like the look of that, which some people are going to be, they're a little bit busy, then there's plenty of other options in the stroke lab range. If you're looking for something which is going to improve your tempo, I definitely do think the shafts in these putters do that, so it's worth bearing that in mind. Now, if you're someone who plays on really fast greens, I'm going to recommend these milled faces. Now, I would say I'd like to put these on Quintic and do a little bit more testing and see what the ball is doing. Obviously, I can't do that till we're out of lockdown and I can go into the Quintic studio and have a go with that system, so you're going to have to wait for a bit more information on that. Okay guys, so I hope that's answered some of your questions on kind of the stroke lab range and you've managed to learn something new about the Odyssey putters from this year. If you do have any more questions, just put them in the comments below and I will get back to you. If you've liked this video, make sure you hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new. If you want more content, just head over to the National Club Golfer social media channels and we'll see you again soon.